the grand finale of the UAE Tour. Destination Jebel Hafeet, and with temperatures around 31 Celsius, this was always going to be a hot day, both in terms of the action and indeed the atmospherics. Al Jahili Fort, our starting point, and then flatlands until we got to the second of the intermediate sprints, which would announce the climb itself. A test that would define not only today, but of course the race itself. Our champion in waiting, but who would it be? Tadej Pogačar leading the race by a modest margin. Adam Yates favourite to take it to him. They've duked it out on the final test in the past. Would it be a repeat of that? Well, what wouldn't be repeated was Gazprom in the breakaway. They've defined every single one of the breaks with Dmitry Strakov already secure in black. Others took up the task, 7 of them in fact. Impey from Israel Premier Tech, we had Mirko from Quickstep Alpha Vinyl, Groupama Francis Joe with Clement Davy, Caden Groves from Bike Exchange, Vermeersch, the Classics band from Alpecin Phoenix, Schwarzman from Lotto Soudal, and Team DSM sending Neuhaus up the road as well. Well, the peloton amusing themselves, casting bidons towards the cameramen, and then when we got to the climb, through that secondary sprint, and all of a sudden it all started to break down. Last man standing from the breakaway would be Gianni Vermeersch. Others with some technical issues at exactly the wrong moment, and I'm afraid Ruben Guerrero was one of those for EF Education Easy Post. He was to get himself back in as Vermeersch was indeed pushing on, but so were the main contenders. The GC men, led of course by UAE Team Emirates and a few others. Bora Hansgrohe doing their turn. Patrick Conrad was working so hard on the day. Ineos Grenadiers, they had plenty of spare legs as well, but slowly but surely they would be worn out on this mighty test. Just over 9 kilometres to go, and some of the incline percentages here nudging 11%. And Conrad it was that tagged the last of the breakaway, and they pushed on. Conrad, of course, working for Alexander Vlasov, trying to offer him a bit of respite. Jai Hindley, who was so good as well on Jebel Jais, was also in the mix. But it was that the grind started to have a huge cost. Most of the action was being instigated by UAE Team Emirates, strength in depth, not least Rafa Majka, who was putting on the hurt. Adam Yates didn't want to get bullied, and after he'd burnt his own teammates out, he did not in any way want to be bullied by Tadej Pogačar's men. Pogačar himself was the one that set off in hot pursuit, leaving everyone else for the minor places. Well, Pello Bilbao had other ideas. Bahrain victorious, he pushed on, and in so doing was just dragging João Almeida, sporting the young riders jersey, on behalf of Tadej Pogačar, our race leader. So a free ride almost for Almeida, all the way to the back wheel of Yates and Pogačar. How would this resolve? Well, Almeida it was that sped on, forcing Adam Yates to chase. Pogačar was staying on the back wheel of Yates, and Bilbao was starting to fade. It was a hell of a battle with just under 2 kilometres to go, and always it seems we get a sprint finish. Whenever Pogačar and Yates are involved, it seems to be between the pair of them, and so it was today. Almeida had done his job to offer up a little bit of assistance to Pogačar, who sat on Yates's wheel. Meanwhile, Bilbao was there spectating as these two duked it out yet again on the twisty entry to the final line. Yates shaking his head, saying, "Come on, give me a turn." "Absolutely not," said Tadej Pogačar. All thought bubbles, of course, but actions speak louder than words, and Tadej Pogačar was coming through to take not only another stage win, but of course the title. He'd won on Jebel Jais, he did the same here on Jebel Hafeet, and in the end it was smiles between Yates and Pogačar, two great warriors fighting here. Pogačar a worthy champion, and for the home team, UAE Team Emirates, this was a joyful moment. Great battle, super to see, and the exchange of respect and the smiles were equally met. Tadej Pogačar, a worthy champion. Adam Yates, a worthy adversary. That was the billing, and they stood up to that and provided one heck of a show. Jebel Hafeet never disappoints. Neither does Tadej Pogačar, it seems. Tadej Pogačar just with a second advantage on the stage over Adam Yates. Peo Bilbao in third ahead of Almeida. Lucas Platt, brilliant work by the young Australian ahead of Verona. Rafa Majka, who did so much work as well. Well, our podium dominated by Tadej Pogačar, but all credit as well to Peo Bilbao and Adam Yates for putting on one heck of a show. No beating Pogačar though. 22 seconds advantage in the end, and it spun out after that. The top 5 blanketed by 55 seconds before the times really fell away. An amazing race, a great champion, 7 days of pure action in the desert. With the finale on Jebel Hafeet, it doesn't get much better.